Hey everybody, what's up? So I'm sorry first of all for any background noise you might hear from the fan. It's been really hot. Um, my part of the house there's no AC really, so fan has to run. I've got the fan over by the window that I have to run to suck the hot air out, so I apologize for that in advance. So I kind of want to talk about something. I'd have to make this probably one-shot video. This week has been really busy and I really want to get it out. So here's the thing I've seen discussions on. And that is there really YouTube gaming community left? And in all honesty, I think even if there is, it's a very small one, because what's been happening is back when I joined YouTube, there really weren't all these large channels that are starting to become, you know, bigger and bigger all the time. And the sad thing really is that YouTube took away that ability to be recognized because of the fact that we no longer have the make a reply video option. We can, but it's not promoted because they took that away to where you could post a response video on somebody's timeline. Now you have to make one. So in order to get recognized, you have to put the name of the person in. So as you do a search, it has to be in there. It's the only way smaller channels can get recognized. And that in itself is a problem because a lot of smaller channels tend not to do certain things. We tend not to care about the money that is made. We tend not to care about what people overall think. Really, years ago, I never saw this deal of, hey, I'm a Sony fan, you're a Sony fanboy, you're a Nintendo fanboy, you're whatever. It was all about talking about the games. That's the thing I missed the most about it. Because we cared more about the games than anything else. Yes, there was news. But as time has progressed, things have just gotten worse. Oh, and it's been this constant. I still see this. Yes, there are certain communities on YouTube, but the gaming community, unfortunately, has been dying out because this is all opinion, by the way, because really people focus more on the money. You know, I had never really heard people talking about going full time on YouTube, how they needed Patreon in that. I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm not here to go on about e-beggars and whatnot. Just wanted to put that out there. That's ultimately what really started killing it, in my opinion. You went from the people who had this love of video games to people constantly putting out videos on a daily basis so they can meet these algorithms and that. I stopped watching a lot of channels, and I've literally been hearing about channels I've never known about until now because I've just not been paying attention. I never knew about beat 'em ups until somebody mentioned him, and Radical Rick talked about him. Dreamcast guy I never heard of. I'm trying to think. There's a few other ones. I'm trying to think of right now, but I don't want to throw a lot of names out because I don't want to look like clout chasing. Those are the two biggest ones that I've never heard of. And it really dawned on me how many of these people are out there. And it just blew my mind. And ultimately, it made me go, wow. This is not the gaming community I remember starting to watch years ago. And so many of the smaller channels in that are just disappearing. And people are saying, well, it's because they're not being promoted by the algorithm. That can be a possibility, but even more so, as time goes on, not a lot of people have time for gaming. They have kids they have to take care of. They have obligations, other obligations, family. There's a whole lot of stuff. And so as those channels start slipping away or they start losing interest in YouTube, more and more of these, bigger channels are starting to happen. And it really is sad because a lot of those channels were what kept things going. Now you don't see it as much. I've only been able to find out about certain smaller channels as a result of going to, other channels and watching reviews of that. And there are some great ones that I found out about, whether it be from, hair in my eye, Radical Rick's channel, or going to somebody that was on Rick's channel and finding about other people. So there is still that small, connection. And kind of other things that have been involved really are, you don't get a lot of response videos. You don't, that to me was by far one of the best things ever, because you were able to get your opinion out there. People may not have liked it in that, but you're sharing your thoughts. You had people coming to going, hey, I found out about you from so-and-so, watching your response video on so-and-so's channel, like your viewpoint, or it's all this discussion. And we don't have it anymore. There's just this focus. And one of the things lately that drove me nuts is, people talk about certain channels like, oh yeah, they're gaming channels. Bull, they're not. There are people that people consider to be gaming channels. I'm sitting there going, they talk more about drama, tech, all this other stuff, and they barely do any gaming. They barely talk about games, but they're seen as part of the gaming community here on YouTube because, they may do multi-platform streaming for games, but how many of them really play the games? And even then, that's part of the other problem with some of these bigger channels. You look at it and you go, do these people even play the game 100%? Or do they just film it for, a few hours of footage and go, oh, here's blah, blah, blah. And people are going, I played the game and there's so much missing from their video. There's so much that they could talk about. And it just makes it worse because it feels like there's this lack of passion. And when you feel like there's a lack of passion on their channel, and you look at it and you're going, wow, this is really screwy. And for someone such as myself, I look at it and I go, I have no interest in watching this channel anymore because they don't show that passion. And, when you're putting out videos on a daily basis and you're talking about things you may not have played 100%, you think, how does this person have all this time? Once again, it just kills it. It really does. When I started YouTube, yes, I had a lot of free time on my hands because I was looking for work. I lived in an area where there were barely any jobs. And even now, I made so many changes because I don't always have time to make these videos now. Or I may film them in bulk because something may be coming up. I have health problems to deal with. But I always try to make sure that I do my best and I try to show that passion. That's myself personally. I still see people who may put out videos daily, but they're not this big, long, lengthy thing, but you still see that passion. And really, one of those things, I just don't have a lot of passion for gaming on YouTube to watch their stuff, because it just doesn't feel like it's there. I can watch certain channels from the mall building community or channels, and they do these group builds in that. You hear about these other channels and you watch their progress. A video may be an hour long or between 30 minutes and an hour long, but it's there. There's a channel I started watching called, I'm not subbed to it, I've kind of watched a few random videos called Ants Canada, where this guy literally has this passion about his ant colonies and a few other things, and he's like, you listen to this guy narrate, and you feel like you're watching a nature documentary, and it's like, how long have I been watching? Oh wow, that type of thing, because you're just so sucked into it. because of the passion. And the guy, even though he has over 2 million subscribers, he interacts with people as he can, which is not something you see a lot of. I don't know. I mean, I really don't. And to me, if you look at all this stuff and you go back to how YouTube was originally when it started up until this point, where you start to see this lack of passion, this more drive towards other things, it gets sucked out of the joy's gone. You see people struggling for content at times, and you think, damn, this is sad. Hey, you know what? If you want to, I'll tell you what, if you want to make a discussion video about this, post a link to the video below. I'll watch it. You know? May not be within the next week, because I got a lot going on. I'll try to do everything as best as possible. I wanted to get this out there because I really wanted to talk about it, and I really wanted to see other people's views. Because I think if you share the video on your channel and you talk about it and people want to add to their discussion, I could go on there and add into it. Let's see what we can do. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.